Hello everyone, I'm back with another Python lesson. Today we will learn about list and method in Python. We are gonna build a small project to manage a shopping cart. We want to create a system where we can add items to shopping cart, view the items, and update or remove items from the cart. Are you ready? Let's talk about list. A list is a collection of items. Let's look at an example. To define a list, you can simply write A equal bracket, for example, 3, 10, minus 1. This line means we are creating new list with the elements 3, 10, minus 1, assigning it to the variable A. To check A using print A, run this program. You see list with element. We want to add an item to the list. You can do that with method. To add items, we use append. The append function is a predefined function you can use on the list data type. Like I said before, a method is a function attached to an object. So we use a dot after the string or list or every object in Python to call the method. This method adds an item to the end of the list. We need to write the name of the method followed by parentheses, and inside the parentheses we put the item we want to add. We type name of list and dot, choose every method we want, append. In parentheses, every item you want to add the list, type here. For example, we want added 1 to the list, so type it. This means we are appending the number 1 to the list A. Let's execute this. After we print it, you'll notice the number 1 has been added to our list. An interesting feature of Python list is you can mix type within a single list. For instance, you could have a list with both number and string. Let's see this in action by appending string hello to our list using the append method. So we type a dot append and hello, print a again. We see it contains the string hello and number. List can even contain other lists, so we can write a dot append other list in this parenthesis. For example, 1, 2, this item added list of A. We see mix of number, string, and another list in the main list. Let me check with print, run it again. This line we see mix of number, string, and another list in the main list. If we want to delete an item from the list, we can do it using pop method. So we can type a dot pop and parentheses. Pop is predefined function for the list data type. This method delete an item from the last of list. Let's run by print a and we see it change. Okay, this line you'll find the last item has been removed. There are many other predefined functions for list, but append and pop are most common. Now let's retrieve a specific item from the list. For example, to get the first item, you can type a bracket and index of item. For example, 0. Like string data type, in Python, each item in a list has a number, and this number is called index. Start from 0, and first item in a list is at index 0. Let's print this item and ensure we are retrieving the correct one. We want to retrieve 3 of list of A, and we type a bracket 0, so we print it and check it. Let's print this item. First item in a list at index 0. We use square brackets after list name to access each item. If we want to change an item in the list, we select the item with name of list and index of item. We want change this value, so we type a bracket 2 index of it equal new value to assign it, for example 100, and print it. This code print a again and see the update list. We learn about list. Now we can create shopping cart. The shopping cart will be a list, right? So we create an empty list first. For example, name of variable shopping cart equal bracket. This line we create an empty list, print the cart to make sure it's empty, and run this program with name. We can see empty shopping cart. Now let's add some items to the cart. We will use append method. We type a dot after shopping cart. We type here and use append method to add some item to the cart. For example, banana. Another item, we type name of list and dot and use append method. In parentheses, we add the value, for example, apples. Let's print the new value of the shopping cart, name of list in the parentheses to print it. Run it again. This line show us shopping cart is empty, and after run these lines added item to the list, the result show us every item in the list. Now we want to check what the first item in the cart is. We use index, so we type name of list in the bracket. If we want first item, we type 0. Let's run it again. We retrieve first of item of shopping cart. If we want second item, we can write 1 to retrieve. If we made a mistake, for example, we added apples, but we actually wanted oranges, we want to fix that by changing the item by assign new value. First item in the shopping cart and equal to assign new value, for example oranges, in double quote because it's string. We can change items in list using their index. We can print first item and let's check it, oranges. If we want to remove an item from the cart, we will use remove or pop. In this case, we use remove method. This method removes the first item it finds that matches the value we provided in parentheses. We type name of list and dot to use method, remove methods, and in parentheses, we type any item we want to remove, type here. For example, bananas, and print our list again to see the result and run it again. This line we can see our list. This line show the list after remove the banana. Let's say the user wants to buy more items at once. Instead of adding them one by one, we can add a list of items using the extend method. This method adds multiple items to the end of the list. We can write like this: name of our list dot extend method. In parentheses, we write a list of items. We type bracket. In bracket, we can type every item. Let's print again and delete them. Run it again. This is new list. If we want to know how many items are in the cart, we can use the len function. We use this function in the string. Do you remember? Now we can use it for list. So we type len in parentheses name of list. We can assign the value of it in the variable length and print length and run it again. This line. Print number of items in our list or in the cart. We can also access items from the end of the list using negative indexes. Negative indexes start counting from the end of the list. For example, -1 is the last item, -2 is the second to the last item, and so on. Let's see the last item in the cart using index. Let's try the index -1. Print name of list and bracket and -1. Run it again. Let's see the last item. If we want to access the second to the last item, we use index -2 and run it again. Negative indexes are very useful when you want to access items from the end of the list. For updating multiple items in the list, we can use loop and index. Sometimes we need to change multiple items in a list. Now let's imagine we want to mark each item in the cart as a purchase by adding the word bought at the end of each item. We can do this using a loop with indexes and update each item. Let's write a loop with a range and length. We use them in our course. We type for to use loop. We use index I to access each item and keyword in. What sequence number we want? We use range length of the name of list to create a sequence of numbers from 0 to length of the list. And column, we want to mark each item in the cart. Each item in the cart we can use and access with name of list and index, so we can use plus every text we want. For example, bought. It's label for each item. Every item in list updated in this line. After loop, we can write print to see new value of list. Run it again. Now the list looks like this. Sometimes we don't want to access just one item. We want to access multiple items at once. This is called slicing a list. We use a column inside the square bracket to slice the list. Let's get the first two items in the cart. To get it, we can write print name of list bracket. In bracket, we use column start item we want. We want to get the first two items. So we write 0 and 2. This line get us them. If we want to get the last two items, we can write like this. Only change the index. If you want to slice from the beginning of the list, you can leave out the first number. And if you want to slice until the end of the list, you can leave out the second number. Let me check it by running slicing to item the last of the shopping cart. This line slicing the list to first item. Congratulations, we have built a basic shopping cart system. This is a simple but powerful project. You can now build more complex projects with this skill. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Happy coding.